What a cup of coffee that was. Ooh, I love that coffee. It's mint. So, I've seen a few headlines. Federico Chiesa, the real reason why he's not available for selection, basically. And Arne Slot said as follows, and this is what prompted those headlines, because previously they were like, well, he's not going to be involved because the manager didn't want to play him, he's available, blah, blah, blah. So the real reason why he's not playing today is as follows, according to Arne Slot. Federico Chiesa is feeling sick. Unfortunately for him, because he had some minutes against Southampton. He was sick in the last 2 days and today as well, so we couldn't bring him to the game. So that's the real reason, not because he's available for selection and the manager just doesn't want to play him. However, when I saw the headlines, the real reason, that immediately prompted me to see what the articles were, because as some of you know, I was given information several weeks ago regarding the real reason, the alleged reason, as to why things weren't working out for Chiesa at Anfield. And I did a channel members video on that. I posted on the members website about it because I didn't really want to discuss it openly, you know what I mean? Because you get a lot of like newcomers coming, especially if it's a hot topic or a revelation or something. And I was just like, no, let's just keep it low key, do you know what I mean? But having seen those headlines today, the real reason, what I'm gonna say in this video is I don't think that you're being told the complete truth regarding Federico Chiesa's availability since he joined the club. Right now, he could be sick. He could be ill. What you got to understand is that the word sick, when used by someone not speaking, the English language as their native language, could mean several things. Like, I don't know, if someone says to me, he's sick, like I'm thinking like, oh, he's balking, or do you know what I mean? Or a virus or something, stomach virus. Excuse me. Not like I live in Spain and I obviously speak a bit of Spanish, but there's different words, isn't there, that I could say a word in Spanish to say that I'm sick, which I might mean I'm just saying I'm unwell or I don't feel good, but you know what I'm saying? Because there's like sick, unwell, you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? I think when Arne Slot says the word sick, I want to think, oh, that means he's like that. But does he mean he's unwell or there's something else, right? That's just the first consideration I want to give you, right? It doesn't matter. But even, let's assume Arne Slot is using the right word to define Chiesa's status. He is sick, right? So right now he's sick. Maybe he is. Maybe he's laid up in bed. He's spewing his ringer, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever. Okay? I want to focus on the last few weeks and months since he joined us, right? And when a footballer isn't available for selection because he's sick, unwell, or whatever, you got to imagine that a footballer, it's all about condition, isn't it? It's not just about injuries, right? Because when a player is missing for a while, people are like, oh, I wonder what injury that is, and he must have a knock. Or that injury he picked up a few months ago, he can't have fully recovered from it. People always, automatically assume injury, right? But I think as well that sometimes we overlook condition, like how fit a player is, right? So I think most people would agree that Chiesa doesn't look fully fit. And most people would put that down to, well, that's because he's been injured and he's not over it yet and he's not had game time and all that. But I'm not so sure about that. So I think there are many things that can affect your condition, right, as to how you feel each day. All of us, I mean, I know that the average person watching this video won't be, an athlete like me, won't be athletic and that, you know what I'm saying? But I get tired, just put my fucking socks on. But what I'm trying to skirt around the issue here with is to say that there are things in our lives that can affect us that make us not fit, right? So, for example, if I went and sat in my lounge, right, and said, I don't want to see anyone, and my mate comes round or someone comes, is he coming out? And my missus goes, No, he's in lounge. He's just, you know, he's not feeling it, right? He's sick or he's unwell. That's to do with condition, right? Because mentally I'm not conditioned, I'm not right, yeah? I'm not alluding to anything to do with him being like depressed or anything like that. And I certainly wouldn't joke about it. But there are things in our life, right, that make us not on form. It's not all about like injuries and fitness. Your brain's got to be fit as well, right? And what is the biggest thing that makes you feel shit? Other than depression, right? But what is the biggest thing that makes you feel shit? On a normal, day-to-day basis, everything's all right. You think everything's all right in your life. You're not worrying too much about things. You're happy. Being restless, not getting a good night's sleep. Would you agree with that? If you don't sleep well, right? The next day you feel a bit like, oh, okay, now I'm. Would you agree with that? Right? And what do you do when you can't sleep well? You look for solutions, don't you? I do. I have a fucking nightmare sleeping, right? I've tried everything. Magnesium, melatonin, that cannabis oil. None of it fucking works. And on the rare occasion when I have slept, when I've, say, doubled up on melatonin or something, what happens? The next day I wake up and I go, fucking, I'm so groggy today. So my condition isn't spot on, right? So there are things in life that can affect you and your general well-being, right? And that's just a couple of examples. I'm sure there's many more, right? So, and you can become reliant on things to help you, can't you? You know, I mean, people that have been depressed over the years. I was on antidepressants for 20 years. When my dad took his own life when I was a 17-year-old kid, 18. And immediately, what do they do? Oh, take these, you'll feel all right. You know what I mean? So, and I just took them every day for decades. And I stopped taking them one day, which you're not just supposed to do. But you become dependent on them, don't you? It's just like, here you go. It's the same with sleeping, all right? I'm pointing over there because that's my drug cabinet's over there. You know, if you can't sleep, you say, oh, I'll take a melatonin every night. You know, you become dependent on these things. People do it with painkillers. They become dependent on them. I get a lot of blocked noses, right? So you spray that shit up your nose all the time. And it says don't have it more than 3 days in a row, something like that. I've been on it for fucking years. Not because you get a thrill, but it's the only way I can fucking breathe on a night. So you become dependent on those things. Now, with a footballer, it's not all about like, oh, he's injured or he's not back to full fitness because he hasn't played as many games. It's about condition as well, all right? And in my opinion, let me rephrase that. There's people that are making claims that, and it isn't me making this claim, by the way, right? This is just stuff that's being fed to me. The club. There's an issue there. I think there's an issue. I think everyone in the world knows there's an issue there. I don't think that's fucking rocket science, is it? And one of the claims is that when he underwent his medical, something wasn't picked up on the medical. Something wasn't disclosed. Nothing serious, like he's in ill health, he's gonna, he's got an illness or something, or he's sick. But just something wasn't maybe disclosed. Now, that can make it sound like someone's being deceitful. Do you know what I mean? But maybe sometimes you don't disclose something because you don't think you've got a problem with something. You know what I mean? Like, if I went to doctors and she went, is everything all right? I'd go, well, yeah, I'm all right, yeah. Really, if I told her the truth, I'd be like, well, to be honest, I felt fucking shit for fucking ages. But you sort of like go, no, I'm all right. I don't know if that's a man thing or whatever, but maybe something wasn't disclosed at a medical that should have been disclosed at a medical. I don't know if that's true. Right? But that's a suggestion. That's a suggestion. And when this claim was made to me, right, I did a bit of digging because the first thing I know people are going to say to me, that people that I trust, that I'll say, hey, I've been told this, like, what do you reckon? I know the questions they're going to ask me. So the first thing I did was I researched into whether this would be picked up on a medical. And the answer is no, not necessarily, unless they are looking for that, or unless the medicals are really, really deep. I have no idea how deep the medical process is at Liverpool. We did have someone on the members website from the medical setup one of the members, is very close friends. So we used to get a lot of intel on players that were injured. Pedro Neto, if you remember years ago, that's how I knew about the Pedro Neto stuff that was going on with Liverpool and that medical. Do you remember? Not a medical ahead of a transfer, but when Liverpool allegedly had him checked, it was through that person. And I don't like to ask people, because I always think, like, if people got something to say, they'll tell you. So I don't know how deep they go into a medical. I've got to be honest with you, and every club will be different, right? So the suggestion was that, or the allegation, or the claim, which could be completely untrue, was that something was, not picked up on the medical, or not disclosed on the medical, or both. Something that would affect the player's condition, and that is the problem, right? And if you were an employer and you employed someone, right, and you sent that person for a medical, and the medical comes back, sorry, it's all right, but then down the line something came out, what would you say? What would be the process? You'd go, have you been honest with me? Or is this an oversight? Or what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? You would honesty comes into it, right? So, in my opinion, if any of that is true, that would explain why we saw the suggestions that he would be offloaded in January. Because trust is important, and there's all sorts of contractual things there if you think about it. Because I'm sure that the contract says you must be telling the fucking truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth when you go through a medical or sign to work for us, all right? And if they haven't done that, that casts a problem over the contractual legalities and things like that, right? And my opinion, you might have a different opinion, and I can't say this is why. My opinion is that's why that would explain that there was all that chatter about he was going to be sold in January. Because I don't see Liverpool giving up on a player because he's struggling, he's not adapting to the country, or he's missing home, or he's not, recovered from an injury, or he's not match fit. I don't see Liverpool going, right, we'll get fucking rid of him. And I think that's why those rumours came out. Not because the club were actually looking at doing that, but because someone actually knows, or has been told what I've been told, that's probably got a bit more authority, and maybe a journalist in Italy or something, and they can say, I know this as fact. That's what Liverpool are going to do. They're going to try and get rid of him. What I have been told is that whatever this issue is that affects his condition, right, the club have been dealing with it. And I'm sure we have a very supportive club. I think the club will be like, right, well, if this is true, I would imagine that the club is saying, well, we'll get this sorted, we'll get through it, right? And I think this is the reason why you've not seen much of Chiesa so far. And for what it's worth, I hope that he does regain full fitness, and I hope he can be a hit for Liverpool. Because when he signed for us, I've never seen anyone look so delighted to sign for Liverpool, got to be honest with you. Probably because he's not fucking after me. No, I'm only joking. But I like him, and but I want you just to treat this as just a rumour, right? Just a rumour. And I'm making that perfectly clear that, I don't know if it's true. But what I do here is I talk to you about things that people are claiming. I like to often, there are times when you can't say things or you shouldn't say things. So sometimes I just skirt around issues a little bit. I could sensationalize it if I wanted to do that. If you think this is about views or something, I don't need views. I'm on the Mediterranean looking outside. I'm enjoying life. I'm a granddad. I don't need to fucking grow a YouTube channel by luring people in. I'm quite happy with what we've got here. And I can tell you right now, there's people watching this video that have known about this for some time, that will be able to verify that I've already gone over this privately several weeks ago. And the reason I'm bringing it up now is because I saw the headlines, the real reason. And he might be sick. right now. It might be. But I think there is this issue that's been going on in the background. We're grown-ups, we should be allowed to consider other things and just see what happens, right? I don't see them doing anything in January. As I would say to you in all of my videos or any of my podcasts or any of my posts on the Cop Talk website, I would always say to you, digest, just take it in, listen, form your own opinions, and maybe down the line you might think, yeah, I can see why that would be an issue, If you're not fresh, if you... well, I imagine a footballer needs to be exceptionally fresh. That's all I'm going to say. So I wish him the best. I hope it all works out. Do you know what I mean? And that's it. That's it. So I'm not saying that people are lying to you because I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe the original source, contact, friend, whatever would say, nah, they're lying to you. But that's their job. Their job is to, to keep news. There's many things in the club that go on all the time that we never get to hear about. And they don't want to blow things up, and if there was an issue, maybe it's been resolved and sorted and all that. So he's just not available for selection because he's unwell. That's all you need to know, right? I want to stress, I don't think that there's nothing in any claims whatsoever that the player has done anything wrong, right? Okay, maybe something didn't come up at medical, that could be an oversight. If it's even true, there's no suggestion that the player is struggling mentally, or he's unhappy, or he's seriously ill. There's nothing like that. I think it's all to do about condition and being fresh. And if you're, a professional footballer, I imagine you need to be rocking up at not Melwood, fucking hell, I'm still in the past, at the AXA and be fully focused and that. Fully focused and whatever. And as long as the lad's giving 100%, that's all that matters. And I think you'd agree with me, right? So rather than being negative towards him and going around saying this player's fucking useless, because I've seen a lot of this, waste of money. It's not a waste of money. That's like loose change to some of these people at the club, down the back of the sofa. Perfectly good reason to take a gamble on him. I think you just go easy on him. You know what I mean? Like, you never walk alone and all that. Like, the lad's trying his best. And even if we want to say, no, all of it's all lies, it's all fabricated, it's all made up, it's not true, then let's just wish him the best and hope he recovers from being sick then. All right? That's all that matters, right? And what will be, will be. All right? If you appreciate this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please drop me a comment. Go easy on the comments. Use your head. And it's time to go live, I think. Ooh, going live now, yes. All right, guys, take care.